Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex coming to you live from 2016 before the face reveal. And I've got my top 5 Galactus GBR clear teams for you. So these are the 5 teams utilizing as many support strikers as I could, utilizing as many top DPS tier 3s as I have, and also using proper leaderships and just putting together the best possible team. Now before we get started, you'll notice that the timer is going by pretty fast. I had to up the speed of all of these clears to about 130% just so we can get in the video, the full video under 20 minutes, so I don't put you guys to sleep here with a long ass video. So I appreciate you guys watching. The second thing you'll notice is that I often stop attacking. And I did it just there, and this is one of the most dangerous attacks because I'm trying to see what Galactus is doing. Someone mentioned it in a previous video, but after he does those 2 sort of domino sets of blasts where it's like predetermined circles on the ground, after he does 2 of those, he will always do that triple blast that covers the vast majority of the arena and will instantly kill at least one of your characters. So always stop attacking and watch out when he does that attack. Your only safe area is either right up against the far left corner or the corner that he's in, like the side that he's in, because he'll be able to take no damage, or apparently the opposite side, again, right on the edge of the rock. But anywhere in the middle, you'll take damage. I still find people, as you just saw, that don't know how to handle those blue orbs, which I think is ridiculous. But apparently people just don't pay any attention to the game mode, don't watch any videos, don't take in any information, and just whatever, go in completely blind. Yeah, but waiting is always a better idea. You can see here as well, I waited to see what attack he would do. In some cases, I'll try to squeeze in a really fast animation skill to charge up my tier 3, but otherwise, just wait. Those few seconds that you sacrifice by waiting to see what skill he does will benefit you because you won't die, and the risk of dying just to squeeze in a little bit more damage is so not worth it. A little bit of patience against Galactus goes such a long way, and you don't want to try to brute force the fight because he will kill you. He has lots of one-shot mechanics, but Sharon is especially good to clear against Galactus because he does those punch attacks. He also does a slam down, and after the slam down he does these moves which are dangerous, but before or during the slam, and you can see the corners are by far the best place to be, the slam downs will do damage that you can use for your accumulation. But I like to switch pretty frequently. It allows my characters to heal because of my VIP. That punch allows me to accumulate so much extra damage. But I just switch just to be safe, just to be careful. There's no shame in switching, and it's smart. We're into the last phase here. You can always squeeze in a tier 3 skill or an attack or 2 here while he's charging up, but then you absolutely have to be on guard because he will call the orbs to heal himself, and that's why I keep saying watch out. Watch out is sort of my go-to warning that the orbs are coming, but sadly we had already lost a member at this point, so it's just me and the Jean Grey doing our best to clear all these orbs, and we did a really good job. I think 1 or 0 actually got through. I find that there's quite a few moments where the game slows down in terms of just seeming like you're at negative 50 attack speed and movement speed, but otherwise this is a really smooth clear with Sharon Rogers. We're coming in at about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, almost 5 minutes here, and if I hadn't been interrupted here, I would have been able to probably take him down, but he did this kind of eye laser, so you have to hide in that blue circle to avoid it. And most of all, the corners. The corners really become your best friend. All 4 corners seem to be very good places to dodge the vast majority of Galactus' attacks. The only one that doesn't dodge it is that beam with his eyes. We're going into the next clear now. We brought along Namor and Luna Snow with a tier 2 Nick Fury for the leadership and support. I don't have any more supports. I would absolutely use Wave if she was tier 2, but because Wave is not tier 2, I can't bring her in. If I could use Wave, I would probably use Wave's leadership, and then use Namor, and then use Nick Fury as a support, but this is also a really good option. This is an option as well for some of you guys that have a couple tier 3s, but you don't necessarily think you can solo with each one because you don't have enough supports, or you just don't think you do enough damage because of your cards or your Uru or something. So you can bring 2 tier 3s and you can alternate between them, and you'll see as the fight progresses I do that because Namor just takes damage at times. I think here I take damage because I thought I had I thought I could dodge those purple circles, those pink circles by iframing, but you can't. So I switched Namor out to heal him, and now I'm getting ready to get right back into that corner. You gotta be in that corner, because otherwise you can see both of my teammates get dusted here. I switched quickly to see that they had lost Thanos, I believe, and Captain Marvel had died, although it was a tier 2 Captain Marvel. But man, Namor, for those of you that are wondering, he does great damage. You can see here I'm already cracking 20 million in less than 2 minutes. He's blowing through this solo clear, moving into the next phase, telling my teammates, watch out, the orbs are coming, but they're just not listening. They're off in La La Land. I'm pretty happy with Namor's potential for clearing this stage, although we did let a lot of orbs through. The only thing with Namor you have to pay a little bit more attention to is his survivability, because it's just not that good. These guys are just clowns. They have no idea how to play. They're running away from the orbs. They're running away when they have the buff up from Doctor Strange. I honestly got paired with some of the most blunderous, dunderheaded teammates possible, but I did carry them to one giant boss raid clear. Here I also took damage with Namor, so I switched, but I got caught with Luna. I was trying to run to that far right corner where I'm in now. The far right corner, or as you'll see in the last clear, the far left corner, are the only places you can hide from that gigantic blue beam. But both of my teammates have died now, so they leave the match kind of ignorantly, and now with 3 minutes gone on the clock, it's up to Namor to solo clear. This is pretty much, because of the lack of effort from my teammates, this is pretty much a 100% solo clear from Namor, and I slither my way through. There was some sick dodging to get right up against him to dodge these blue lasers. You have to. I did get hit. I think I got nicked by one, did about 20,000 damage. Now he's going to slam down and do the individual ones that follow you around. It's 9 circles in total. So for those of you that like to count down, you can count down to 9, or count up to 9, I guess, in your head, and that will help you dodge and know when. I was also taking damage there, so I decided to switch again. But because I had lost Luna, I basically just have to stall until Namor's back. The good thing is a lot of his attacks take about 10 seconds, so that's pretty much the time it takes for your character to come off cooldown, which is actually quite helpful. But you can see Namor just claps with all these skills with this build. He does a really good job of clearing. Like, that tier 3 skill does so much damage, although I got interrupted there. It's too bad. And we switched one more time here just to heal up Namor so he's at full health for the final phase of the fight, because we want to end it before Galactus goes into any other phase. I also knew that I had to collect all the orbs myself, so this was going to be a pretty big challenge, and I was probably going to let a few go through, but it's really nothing I can control, because I'm controlling 3 different lanes. You can always interrupt the healing as soon as you get cursed or whatever buffed by Doctor Strange. You can always interrupt those orbs, so even if they're going for him, if you or your teammate has the orange circle buff, you can, or yellow circle buff, whatever it's called, you can just go right ahead and start hitting, like run up to Galactus and sort of, looks like you're suiciding into him, but you're absolutely not. Check out this tier 3 skill damage. I really quickly stealth switched over to Nick Fury after blasting that, because I didn't want him to die, because I knew if Namor died, the fight was over. There's no way with 4 minutes left with my CTP of regen, PvP built Nick Fury that I was going to clear it, and I knew that, just a couple rotations of Namor's build was going to be enough. But man, Galactus was trying his hardest, double I-beam, to really take me down in this one. So we're going to pop the tier 3 skill here, and this guy disconnected right before the end. That was brutal timing for him. He must be pissed at his internet connection. Here we have our 3rd clear. This one is probably going to surprise you. It's Thanos featuring Ebony Maw and Shuri. So we've got double support here. If Thanos dies, this run is completely over, because neither Ebony nor Shuri can do enough damage. But the good thing about Thanos for Galactus is, 1, he's universal, so he has the type advantage, like he can actually do normal damage to Galactus. And for 2, Thanos is quite tanky. Even with a PvE build, he hits pretty hard, and even though I get hit pretty hard here, I think about 13,000 damage. I can heal that right back up with 1 attack, and you'll see there I just healed up for 13,000 because of his Mad Titan passive. So that's really, really nice. I think this team was a bit better. I don't know exactly what the stats were, but we got a Captain Marvel and we got a White Fox there. So I think they were adding a little bit more to the damage than some of these other teammates. Again, though, Captain Marvel had no idea, or I think they had disconnected, I'm not sure, but this person did not know what to do with the orbs. The other person did, so it's not bad, you know, 2 out of 3. But Thanos does a good job. Again, with Thanos, the same as with Namor, you just have to be patient and you'll get it. You're not going to kind of speed run the boss. And whether it takes you 4 minutes or whether it takes you 5 minutes, you don't have to worry. You just have to get through and clear to the end. So this would be a nice barometer for some of you out there who are wondering what kind of teams you should build. You can look at all these supports, look at all these leaderships, and look at all these primary damage dealers and secondary damage dealers in the case of Luna Snow. And you can use those as sort of a progression guide. If you've already done pretty much all the other content of the game, ask yourself, do I have these characters? Have I built them up? Do I have them ready to be built, or you know, could I build them soon? And then secondly, you know, am I going to be able to finish this content with these characters? And so whether it takes you 1 Saturday or 10 Saturdays, you'll be able to work your way up there, and then, you know, week by week or month by month, you can test each of the different team-ups, and then maybe one day you can roll through all 5 just like I did. It took me, I think, about 40 minutes altogether with the 5 clears, and then waiting in between for lobbies and stuff like that, so it's honestly not bad. That would basically mean that you could solo acquire the Silver Surfer bios with about 40 minutes on a Saturday, once you have, of course, all of these builds, and you have, you know, if you have worse cards, you need slightly better teammates. But as you can see here, I've got teammates who aren't even collecting the circles, so I literally have the worst possible, you know, bench AFK teammates that you could ask for. But Thanos does a good job. He gets the damage done. We're, you know, not even 4 minutes in, and he's crushing it. So we're on to the 4th out of 5 clears, and this one is going to be very familiar. This is Captain Marvel. We're using both Coulson and Valkyrie. Coulson helps with the guaranteed crit rate to make Captain Marvel do a ton of damage, and then our teammates are rocking a Tier 3, I believe, or Tier 2 Iron Man and Doctor Strange. So pretty cool team. We had a little bit of a visual glitch here where Galactus showed up a lot more to the right of center. In this case, you just have to play him regularly. Don't try to get cheeky and move behind him. I know there are some glitches where you can move behind him and take no damage, but I don't want to take any risks and actually lose, so I just play it super safe. I go exactly where I should go if he was where he was supposed to be, and you know, just from there keep going and do the damage. Just play it by the play it safe, play by the rules that are already there. And hopefully nothing bad happens. I know some people get glitched out and they die, or they switch and they die. I've heard, you know, some bad stories there, but I haven't had any issues yet thus far. I think I've only had about 2 or 3 disconnects in all of the attempts that I've done, and I think I've done over 50 clears of Galactus now. So, I mean, with restarts, but still. So it's pretty good, although we did have quite a few disconnects today when I was just going through with these teams. This Cable has no idea what to do. He gets the buff from Doctor Strange and he runs away. So, yeah. This time I switched to Valkyrie and I show you guys the exact spot to stand. Perfect timing there, just standing in the right corner. There's no way the orbs are going to hit you. The orbs are moving directions because they're trying to hit my teammates, but even if they were trying to hit me, they would either be, you know, they wouldn't be basically close enough. He can't aim that far, that hard of an angle to the right or to the left, so either left or right would be enough to clear through and not take any damage. Here we have the same thing, and I switched over to Valkyrie just to be safe, because again, with this team up, if Captain Marvel dies, the whole run is, you know, kaput. So there's no point in risking Captain Marvel's death for a couple of extra seconds on the clear time. Captain Marvel is probably a lot like Namor, very high damage but very fragile. I don't know if I would say Captain Marvel is more fragile than Namor or less. They're pretty similar, you know, 2 iframes, 1 skill with a guard hit. The only difference is that Namor has really high base stats. Even though he doesn't have a uniform like Captain Marvel, he's got really high HP, and he's got really high defenses. Again here, this Iron Man has no clue. He finally figures out that he has to collect the orbs. At that point, we've already healed him up a little bit, but I interrupted the last bit here. Pretty straightforward fight. Get those tier 3 skills popping off. Captain Marvel doesn't iframe ignore either, so you have to pay attention to that. So just once he teleports to the next phase, like he backs off, you should back off as well. The final clear is one that you're probably most familiar with if you've been watching my content or if you've been watching my live streams and seeing me carry people. This is Jean Grey. Now, in the other carries, when I was trying to speed run it, I was using Nick Fury and Ghost Panther, but this is a great team up as well. Ancient One provides 45% energy damage to blast types, which Jean Grey is, and also a 25% elemental, and then Ghost Panther provides those regular tier 2 villain buffs in addition to 50% fire damage. So I've got a 75% fire damage bonus, making that tier 3 skill hit quite hard, as you can see, melting like 4, 5, 6 bars per cast, almost 7 bars there, which is quite nice. And then also buffing up the other skills that deal mine damage. There I got clocked a little bit because I was too close to the meteorites. I should not have done that. But Jean Grey is the character that I said I try to squeeze in the most number of attacks in between the Galactus phase switches. Like here, I was thinking about casting a few extra skills, and I would if my tier 3 skill wasn't already charged up, because I know that Jean Grey, not only is she super tanky, but even if she dies, I get a second life, and then during that second life, I can be a lot more cautious, and I don't have to, you know, worry as much on the first one. This Sharon Rogers, again, no idea what to do against the boss, doesn't know how to just run up to him and knock him out for a few seconds. It's not a huge buff, but I do think it helps. It incapacitates him for a little while and lets you do more damage. Here he did back-to-back I-beams, which is pretty annoying. This Doctor Strange thinks he's all that. He gets clapped for 16,000 damage 3 times and he dies. Guys, don't try to be the hero. Don't try to be the tough guy. Just get in the circle. Don't die. And you'll have a better time. You'll be able to clear Galactus. You won't need me to carry you. I popped the tier 3 skill here, even though I shouldn't have, because he started dropping those circles. Again, I play a little bit more risky than I should with Jean Grey, and she's probably a bad example for what you should do and how patient you should be. I'm talking all this patience, then I play so recklessly with Jean Grey, but I'm just doing that because I know she can revive, and I've actually had a lot of experience clearing with Jean Grey specifically, so I'm familiar with you know, how much damage she can take, and she's actually just super tanky as well. With the iframes and with the damage dealt heal on her 3rd skill. Even if Master Mold does like 20,000 damage to her, she'll heal back up for almost the same amount right away. We're into the last phase here, and I want you guys to let me know, 1, if you were able to unlock Silver Surfer. 2, if you have Silver Surfer or if you have somebody else that has him, what do you think of him? And then 3, what are you going to do next Saturday? Do you think people are going to play Galactus GBR as much as they are now, or do you think it's going to die down? Are people still going to help other people with you know, carries and clearing it? How do you guys feel about it, and what do you think is coming next? And who is the next character you'd like to see obtained in this fashion if we were to get a 3rd GBR boss in the future on top of Galactus and Master Mold? So hit me up in the comments with your ideas. This Jean Grey is just about ready to clear it. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. This is hilarious though. He does the orbs and I don't want to die, so I switch and I hide in the corner. This adds like 10 seconds to the clear, but again, this shows you, even with Jean Grey, I'll be as patient as possible. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.